Hey guys, welcome to the Whimsical Workshop. In this video, I have another cross-stitch box to unbox from the common thread. So let's get started. Yay! Alright, so we did get the inaugural cross-stitch box from the common thread. I opened it up a few months ago. I loved it. There was a lot of really cute stuff in it. And so I've gone ahead and this time they gave me that one. This time I have purchased this one. So let's see what we got inside. Alright, so a couple months ago I got the inaugural box from Common Thread for their cross-stitch subscription box. It's a quarterly box, not a monthly box, which I do love. I believe it is $49 a month. I will double check that and put it on the screen here, but it was a very fun box. I had a project for January, project February, project for March. I had a bunch of fun notions in there. It was super fun. So this go around, this is their second box in this series, quarter number 2, and this time I purchased it to see so I could review it because I had so much fun with the first one, and I don't expect them to send me a free box every quarter. So let's get this puppy open and see what we got for April, May, and June. Alright, so as usual, haven't opened it till I get on camera with you guys, which makes it so hard sometimes because I just want to tear into them and see what I got. Okay, oh, so here are the prices. So the cross-stitch box is $49.99 and the shipping was $5.17. We have reviewed their monthly, we have been reviewing their monthly quilt subscription box. That one is $33 a month because you buy it 3 at a time. So it's $99 for 3, so $33 each. Plus it was $10 shipping because it's a much bigger, heavier box. Fabric weighs more. So this one is a $50 box per quarter, and shipping is about $5 from Georgia to Phoenix. So, you know, that's a pretty long distance. So if you live anywhere closer, it might be a little bit cheaper. So, and I do like that they give me my receipt in my box so I know what I'm paying for. It's not just going on my credit card willy-nilly and I don't know what I got. Always, they give us a little menu of what's in the box. We're not going to look at that yet. We're just going to tear in and see what we've got. So this has got the little green with a star on it. Ooh. Lots, oh, how cute. Lots and lots of goodies in this one. Right off the bat, this is a Sweet and Sharp macaroon from Clover. Not sure what it does, but I got raspberry flavor. I love pink, so that's nice. Okay, so you place the needle on the magnetic surface without the Clover logo. To sharpen your needle, insert it into the macaroon and move the needle back and forth in motion to sharpening the feature. Oh, that's really cool. I do not have anything like that. Oh, I'm going to take this out of the bag so you don't get the wacky glare off my lights. Someday I will get these lights right. How adorable is that? Little fun fact, I was born on Easter, so a bunny rabbit is kind of my spirit animal, and it says, this keeps your needles and pins very close to hand, made in America. It's a laser cut magnetic needle minder, and if you haven't seen these because you're in the quilting world and not so much in the embroidery hand sewing world, I'll show you. I do not sew without one, so now I have a whole tin of needle minders because I have one with every project. And like most of you, I have a lot of UFOs going. All right, let's get you back in the bag. There we go. Then we got tulip needles. These are Hiroshima needles, size 22 round trip. So these are cross stitch. Right there, you can see cross stitch needle. See my little Easter nails? From Tulip. Tulip is a company in Japan. I buy their needles and sell them for Sashiko. Excellent needles. Any needles you buy from Tulip, you're going to get a very high quality, sharp needle. Pretty much any metal goods coming out of Japan are very high quality. Olfin blades are, Tulip needles, their knives are amazing. Alright, we got a candy. We got a candy. Ooh, Starburst. Love those. I just ate the ones from the last box. Oh, and then we have a thread minder and thread guide. So what you do is you loop your threads in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can, I'll open this up. I'll explain it. That's right. Oh my gosh, so many goodies. This is a cross stitch key. Huh. We will have to see what that is. I'm not sure about that one. Oh, how sweet. Then we have Welcome Spring. Little cross-stitch pillow. This is, doesn't have a size on it. It's probably on the inside, so look at that. I'm running out of space here. Then we have Hello Summer, little popsicle sticks. How cute are those? Oh, that's cool. So the letters are the negative space. So the letters are the fabric. And this one is Prim and Proper from Lori Holt. I will take this out of the plastic so we can see it. So these are the patterns and the notions. So last box we got patterns with the floss tucked into the back, not the fabric, because some people like to stitch on linen, some people like to stitch on Aida cloth. So I think that's kind of a smart move to let me find my own fabric. I did like having the floss in the bags, but again, I also use mostly Aurifil floss. And some people use DMC and some use Cosmo. There's all kinds of different flosses. So again, she's leaving that up to us, taking the cost of the floss out and probably putting it over here. I do love her boxes because she does leave her store price tags on these so we can add it up and see what they were worth. But let me get the patterns out first and then we'll go through her list and the notions because this plastic does not play well with my camera. So this is Primrose Cottage Stitches by Lindsay Waite. And it's Welcome Spring. And then on the inside, you get your color chart. You get 25 count. This is the fabric they used, which is Pewter Laguna. It's probably a linen. Oh, no, that looks like a even weave cloth or something. It tells you this, gives you more information. And then on the back, you get the little chart. Now, the one thing, this is nothing against the box. It's more against Primrose Cottage. They don't give you a size anywhere. And they don't give you the directions on how to make the little pillow. So I wish Primrose would have given us that. Maybe if we visit there, we'll see something. But yeah, that's the only hard part is now I don't know what size it is. And I'm a quilt designer. I can figure that out. But a lot of people wouldn't be able to figure that out in the quilting world. So, but other than that, it's an adorable pattern. And then we have Hello Summer. And I love that all of these patterns, wait, I want to do the price count. All of these patterns are from different designers. So you also get a chance to try the different designers and decide which cross stitch patterns do you like, what company. So this one is Hello Summer. This is featured in Stitch Quarterly first. It's sew-emma.com. This is again a very simple chart. And they have all the colors here at the top. And then here on the back you have your symbols. But here it does say the count stitch is 95 by 68 stitches wide. There's a formula to figure out the size. Finished size here is listed 6 7/8 by 4 7/8. They tell you what they stitched it on. Navy 14 count Aida. That's the easy one to stitch on. 2 strands. And then the finishing, they talk about how they finished it. And oh, it's on a metal. I was like, it's on a metal plate. So this is a wall hanging. So they did this. They put trim on it. It's a metal tray on a piece of wood. So they did some fancy schmancy finishing on that one. So there's that one. So then, like I said, this one would have been linen, and you can use anything, but this could have been linen. This could have been Aida cloth. And then we've got Prim and Proper by Lori Holt. Wait. Oi, gotta get it out of here. So that's what that one looks like. We'll get close up. Again, Lori Holt's from the quilting world just as I am. So, you know, taking some of our quilting motifs and putting them into cross stitch is always fun. This is another It's Sew Emma stitchery. There you go. There's the Aurifil flosses that I use. So in her pattern, you get the color chart here, you get the stitch count. Then they tell you if you do 10 count vintage cloth, how big it'll be, 14 count Aida, or 25 count Laguna, which again is like an even weave, I think. They talk about Aurifil floss, DMC, and then how to cut your fabric. They do give you a little basic cross stitch instructions, and then they give you the chart. And then again, on the back, they give you the chart again, because just like quilters, they need to know what color floss is. And they give you both Aurifil and DMC. And then they give you all the cross-stitch information on the back again, so that, because this is what you see in the store, and then when you open it up, it's on the inside. So that one is prim and proper. So we're going to put this puppy back in here. All right, so we've got, that's a $10 pattern, that's an $8 pattern, and that's an $8.50 pattern. So right there is $27. Now, let's look at her list, because I don't know all these notions off the top of my head. Thank you for buying the Cross Stitch Quarterly subscription box. Welcome spring as a Primrose Cottage Stitches. Great way to start the new season with tulips, chicks, bees, and butterflies. And I agree, it is absolutely adorable. Prim and Proper is from It's So Emma, and you can travel back to a gentler era and, oh, this one right here. I'm sorry, I lost my place. This project features an elaborate vintage vase holding sweet floral arrangement for flowers and leaves, And then finally, the Hello Summer pattern is It's So Emma, get cool for summer with the popsicle party, assortment of frozen treats. Enjoy stitching this cross stitch pattern through any hot weather heat wave, which here in Arizona we have a lot of. Then we've got the Beekeeper thread binder and thread guide set. Keep your stitch projects organized. So what you do is you do a slip knot of your floss, because you can actually just pull one strand out at a time that way. And you would say, okay, on here, color 1 is bright red, so you put it here, 2 is orange spice, 3, blah, 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 all the way around. And then they give you these little guides where you can actually write the color information, so you could just keep these together and go, you wouldn't need this necessarily. You could just go, oh, I need my red, that's in the number 1 hole. These are very cool to have. They do keep your projects organized and all your threads in one spot. But I would recommend, once you put your threads all on this thing, to then put it in a nice, safe project bag, big enough that it doesn't tangle, to keep your threads from getting kind of ratty in your bag. Then we have tulip round cross stitch needles, 6 needles. This is a $9.69, $10, and they come in this, I'll open it up here so you can see it. There we go, get my hand in the right spot. Come in this fancy packaging, and they are kept in a little vial that you can then throw in your bag. I am really excited to try these, because I have not tried tulip. I'm actually very much a John James needle girl, but I do also love tulip, so I'm very excited to try those as well. Again, this is another $10 item, and I love their little packaging. And then you have this little string you can hang for just. Then we've got the Sweet and Sharp Macaroon from Clover. Always allows us to have a sharp needle. Oh, how cute is this thing? Oh, that's so funny. So it's kind of squishy. Looks just like a macaroon. So your needles, I guess I gotta open this back up. Sorry, should have known I needed a needle. Put that up there. I do love their little needle keepers here. So, and they do have the gold eye, bigger eye needles. It makes it easier to see. So back over to the needle. So they said non-clover side. So there's no magnet here, but there is a magnet there. So it works right like that, but not on the, there's a very faint logo. It won't stick to that side. Kind of wish it stuck to both, but you know, that's Clover. And then to sharpen your needle, you stick it in, and this material will help sharpen your needle. Because just like any other metal, any other metal thing we use, it does dull over time. So this may extend the life, because again, you get 6 needles for $10 if you end up loving tulip. So if you can extend their life, great. I can't see you needing it for cross stitch because they're ball needles, they're blunt. But embroidery, hand sewing, binding, this would be perfect to have by you while you're binding a quilt, because you can just like poke it in a few times, get a little bit sharper, and you can always tell when a needle is getting dull because it fights you pushing through the fabric. we always blame the fabric, but it's usually the needle's fault. So this is a really, really cute little gadget. Definitely going into my sewing bag, which is getting the size of a suitcase. But there is that. And there is that. Okay. Then we get the cross stitch key. It's a Sew Emma Ultimate Reference Tool for cross stitching. That's all the info they gave us. Again, this is a $14 tool. Cloth counter. Oh, okay. There we go. I think I figured it out. A little direction always helps. I may have to go grab a cross stitch fabric. So this is what it is. It's just a little plastic guide. But see down here, see these lines? You can put your fabric up to it and you can know what count thread fabric it is, which is handy because I got a bunch of mystery fabrics. Let me grab one. All right, I pulled a really pretty one for you. This is how I store my mystery fabrics, or when I buy a fabric, this is how I store it. I saw this on YouTube, wasn't my original idea. This is the fabric wrapped around the card. I pull off the pin and there's my fabric. And this is a comic book archive card. You could buy like 150 on Amazon for 10 bucks. This one came with a card of information, so I just taped it to the card, but I also just write at the top what it is, where I got it. I should probably put how much I spent on it, but I don't. All right, so we know this should be 14 count. So here's the 14 count. And you take your fabric, if I'm guessing right. All right, and you're going to align the count with the holes. So, and they line up perfectly. Where if I use the 10 count, they're way too big. It's going 1.5 squares. I'm not sure if you guys can see that on the camera or not, but that is what these around the edges do. Floss strand. Oh, okay. So then they're telling you here, if you use 10 count fabric, you want to use 4 strands of floss and a size 24 needle. Here is 14 to 32 count. You want to use 2 strands of floss and a 26 needle. And then if you get up into linen, you use this really high linen, you use 1 strand of floss and a 28 needle. So that's that. So we've got that figured out and that figured out. This is just a ruler. And let's see what the corner guide is. Let's see here. Corner guide, measure margins, reference guide, determine numbers. Okay, we did that. So I don't know what measuring the margins does. I'll have to look that up. But needless to say, this is very handy, especially since this one's nicely labeled, this fabric, but I do have a whole box of fabrics that I'm not sure the thread count. So I'm going to keep this with that for sure. This little reference guide is really handy as well. So it's really safe to keep this with my fabric because I can, when I go to pull out a fabric, I can double check the cloth counter and I can see what strands I need, but it's safely with my fabric and I know where it is because again, that's a handy tool to have. So I'll put that away. And then finally, we got the really cute bunny needle minder. And again, how this works, we're gonna pull this guy off. So when you're doing a project, it is not a good practice to shove your needle into the fabric to store it because you can distort the fabric and over time, if you forget it and it's like 10 years later, it could rust on you. So this is a little magnet. It just clips onto your piece and then your needle goes on that side or on that side, and I always know where my needle is. If I have it in the embroidery hoop, the hoop has some depth, so when I leave to travel, I'll put it on the back because the hoop itself will also protect it. But when I'm sewing, I always put it on the front. I'm doing some needle point projects, and I have really strong ones, and I actually put my little scissors on one and my needles on another because you use different needles. So they're super handy. If you don't know what a needle minder is, get yourself at least 2 or 3. But again, I got the absolutely adorable bunny saying stitching time, which works for sewing and or cross stitching, which is, you know, 2 of my favorite things. All right, so we've gone through everything. We read her sweet note. I love that she gives us a menu. So again, I paid $49 for the box. I'm gonna do a little rounding here just to make math easier. So this was $10. And then these two together were $6.17, so that's $27 and 9 is 35, and 10 is 45, and this guy was 15, so that's 60. This was 10, that's 70, and then this little guy was 12. $82 of stuff in a $49.95 box. I have to say that I'm having more fun with the cross-stitch subscription boxes than I do in a lot of the quilting ones, mainly because it's smaller, there's a lot more stuff going on, and it's easier to store these. I don't have a full fabric kit. They are patterns that I can use as a reference. So even if I never do those cross-stitch stuff, I still got my money's worth. And oh, and I forgot this too, didn't I? No, I think I counted that one. I got all of my money's worth in here just in the notions, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notions. That's $50, and then you've got these on top of it. So to me, the Common Thread are doing a great job with their cross-stitch boxes. I'm very excited to see what else they do with them. It's quarterly, which I absolutely love, because then I don't have one every month backing up. I felt like it was just the right amount of time between them. And they're giving us high quality, really nice stuff. So let me know what you think of this box below. Have you jumped into the cross-stitch bandwagon? Or did you go over and jump into the macrame bandwagon? What's your new secondary craft or first craft that you're doing right now? I would love to hear it. As always, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. It helps move the video up further in the search, which I appreciate. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.